Hi everyone. Okay, so tonight we continue where we left off on Saturday. I was gonna do this last night, but had a little issue with our internet when our service provider shut everything off for maintenance. So I couldn't do it. But we're here now, so that's the important thing. My teeth are yellow. I haven't brushed them yet. Look at my pretty yellow smile. Yeah, usually I brush my teeth at this time of night right before I go to bed. So, so. We're going to be continuing off. We have 4 videos left. Let's see. One from Nuke's Top 5, Top 15, a Chills, and a King Frostmare. So, without further ado, display on. Camera, you can see me. Oh, one quick second. Okay, and there we go. I also gotta set up my my cell phone viewing device. All right, let's go.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. The West Virginia Penitentiary. The infamous West Virginia Penitentiary is one of the oldest prisons in the United States. The sprawling fortress-like prison operated from 1876 to 1995. It housed some of the world's most dangerous inmates. In fact, after numerous horrifying attacks and homicides in the penitentiary, the U.S. Department of Justice named the prison one of the 10 most violent correctional facilities in the U.S. Almost 1,000 men lost their lives in the West Virginia Penitentiary, either by sickness, execution, or the frequent brutal attacks by fellow inmates. The Foreman brothers, Josh, Rocky, and Sean, from the YouTube channel Paranormal Nightmare, traveled to the small town of Moundsville to investigate the allegedly haunted West Virginia Penitentiary.
Right now we're here at West Virginia State Penitentiary. We're going to get started in the cell block area. This area here is where they housed most of the violent inmates.
In 1986, a brutal attack by a fellow inmate ended the life of prisoner Red Snyder. Many claim to have seen Red's ghost still walking the prison halls.
Red, my name is Josh. This is Rocky and Sean. They were talking about you earlier today, that one of your friends brutally murdered you right here in this cell. Can you see us? Let us know if you're in here.
And then whenever I stopped, it stopped. But then I asked.
What in the world was that?
Josh and Rocky Foreman head to the second floor cell block to do a spirit box session. They capture some very bizarre and unsettling responses.
Is this your cell? I'm no longer in prison. Where are you at if you're not in prison?
Are you free?
Can you still hear us? Yes? Can you say Josh?
No, absolutely cut.
Then say it. Say Josh. I heard you.
The Foreman brothers reunite on the prison's main floor and are walking down the dark hallway.
Wow, that's like the most casual ghost I have ever seen in any of these videos. Could you say, my name is Josh, could you say my name? Absolutely could. It's definitely the most polite ghost. Yeah, it must be Casper's cousin.
When suddenly they see this.
Josh Rock here, that pump zone down there.
Oh, did you see that? I caught that. Oh, shadow. Shadow.
Whoa.
A dark, shadowy figure seems to just appear out of thin air at the end of the hallway, then walks out of sight.
This handle. Look how high that handle is.
Holy shit, my heart is racing.
Go stand much, huh? This handle.
You can clearly see on the video as Sean walks by, his shadow is cast on the inside wall.
The Paranormal Nightmare team tries to debunk this bizarre shadow figure, but they come up with no answers. So is this the ghost of one of the inmates who lost his life in the prison? You decide.
Very good video. You know whether it's fake or not, it's hard to say. But, as Nuke's Top 5 pointed out, they tried to debunk the video, but they couldn't get any of their shadows to cast on the. For me personally, I'm leaning towards real for now, but I'm open to it also being faked. Uh-oh. Okay, we're back. Was worried there for a second because my stream was cutting off a little bit.
Over on their YouTube channel, Paranormal Nightmare TV series, you can check out more of the Foreman brothers and their paranormal investigations. Hider in the House. Chilean TikTok user Franco Villegas claims that lately odd supernatural activity has been occurring in his home. He says that he's seen unexplained shadows, experienced sleep paralysis, and most bizarre of all, he says that some unseen thing actually bit him on the back. Franco decides to set up a small CCTV camera to record himself as he sleeps.
That's a lot of... Whoa! Okay.
A blurry white figure seems to appear on camera. Oddly enough, whatever it is doesn't seem to upset or excite Franco's dog. It continues to sleep through the entire incident. 3 days later, Franco's bedsheet is pulled off by something. But it doesn't end there. 2 days later, on April 30th, Franco Villegas starts to hear knocking on his bedroom door.
Bueno, son las 1 de la mañana casi. Y nada, para ser concreto, como ven, no tengo audio ni música en el video porque nada, me golpearon la puerta muy fuerte y estoy solo. Despertamos todos los gatos y están todos muy fijos en la puerta, así que voy a mover la cámara apuntando hacia allá. Veremos mañana en la mañana o en la madrugada si capto algo.
So, Franco changes the angle of the CCTV camera to point towards his door. 5 days go by without incident. But on May 5th, as Franco sleeps, his security camera catches something truly chilling.
Okay, hi!
The camera records what seems to be the pale face of a girl peeking into Franco's room as he sleeps. In desperation, Franco asks his TikTok viewers for advice on what to do about the strange spirit that seems to haunt his home. One viewer recommends an odd sort of seance, saying that Franco should try talking to the spirit while holding a candle in front of a mirror.
Estoy solo acá del baño.
No.
Me dijeron
Pray to go
he
away.
traído una vela y un espejo y iba a poder hablar con ella. Amiga, por favor, te pido que me dejes solo. Te lo pido, por favor. ¡Ah, conchetumare!
Now, I'm certainly not saying that this footage is real, but what makes it more compelling is that Franco clearly shows that the bathtub is empty and that he's alone only seconds before the girl appears. One night, Franco is filming one of his cats playing.
Dude, no. Seances will only make it want to stay longer. If you want to get rid of it, you need to cleanse. Through prayer. Holy water. Power of Christ compels you. And all that stuff. Seances, no.
And what happens next is truly bizarre.
Hay ruido en el primer piso. Está... ¡Ah, conche! ¡Ey! ¡Ey! Ah, no, güey. ¡Ah, conchetumare!
So, is Franco Villegas' house truly haunted? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide.
That's a good question. It's hard to say because it seems like one of those instances where it's so elaborate that it could be a hoax, but at the same time, who would continue to go through all that kind of effort to fake something that elaborate for so long? And you gotta admit the footage is really compelling. I'm on the fence with this one. It's like there's so much going on that I want to say it's fake, but at the same time, the same can be said to the opposite, that there is so much going on that why would he fake that for so long? That's my thought, so let's move on.
You can follow Franco's continuing story over on his TikTok page. Out of Step. TikTok user BetsAnAngel69 is a 44-year-old mother of 3 that mainly uses her TikTok account to keep up with her older children. One day, when looking across the street from where she lives, she notices a mysterious figure pacing back and forth. She took a video of it and shared it with one of her friends. The next day, the figure is back again. It paces back and forth for hours on end. Bet thinks that whoever it is might have a mental illness, which would explain the erratic behavior. She records again, and this time posts the video on TikTok to see what other people think.
Talia, get over here. Can't even zoom in any closer. You see it? It just walks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Thing is, though, okay, yeah, if it's a mental patient, which would be the most logical explanation, I just gotta ask the question: why there? Why at that same spot 3 different occasions for several hours on end.
In the comments on her TikTok, BetsAnAngel69 gets many questions about the history of the location, and some viewers even wonder if the event might be of a paranormal nature. Bet follows up with another video.
Okay, so everybody that's been kind of curious, this is the church that's directly across the street from my house that I was explaining. This is the area where we see that figure. It just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times. As I walk up on it, there's just nothing there.
Now, whoever or whatever the figure might be, it seems that Bet's dog is a little freaked out as well.
It's okay, buddy.
When Bet sees the figure again, she decides to go take a look, but she's too scared to go alone. She brings her husband along, and they go to investigate.
My husband has agreed to walk me over and see what we can find.
I can't believe you talked me into this.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Here's the spot.
I don't see anything.
No, I don't either. It's pretty full. Hello? Is anybody there? I'm so nervous. What was that?
I don't know.
Do you need help? This is the moment we turned and ran. I know it might not seem that scary on camera, but when we were up that close, it was so loud, and it was just this almost guttural scream. This is the moment we heard it and ran. You can kind of see us back there. And we took off. My poor husband was like, "F this." He kept looking back. I think at one point he was like, TikTok, I'm out of here, this is done.
Now, did BetsAnAngel69 capture a ghost stuck in a recurring loop? Could it just be some deranged person and nothing paranormal at all? Or is it all just a hoax? Let me know what you think.
Okay, well, one thing I will say about this, for sure, is that it's not a hoax. I'm just going to make that clear right now. Because, Bets and Angel doesn't make any kind of claims that it's a ghost. She doesn't even know what it is. She doesn't know if it's an escaped mental patient, someone with just too much free time on their hands and all that. But she never makes any kind of claim that it's a ghost. So, if she was faking, she would have made some kind of reference to the paranormal. Now, I don't know what this is, but it needs to be investigated more, because the footage is very interesting, and it's really aroused my curiosity. So, I don't know. If I could, I'd go out there and investigate it myself, because this needs answers. This is a great case. It needs answers. Someone get on it, damn it. Alright, moving on.
Check out Bets and Angel's TikTok page to follow her continuing story. The Watcher. Ghost hunting channel Polish Paranormal TV explores an allegedly haunted building deep in the woods near the city of Katowice, Poland. A dark history surrounds the location. Only a month prior to the investigation, the burned body of a homeless man was discovered by an unsuspecting hiker. Since then, there have been rumors of weird and unexplained things happening to all who enter the abandoned house. Before Polish Paranormal TV start their investigation, they check the grounds to make sure that they are completely alone.
Zrobiliśmy już rekonesans. Jesteśmy totalnie sami. Nie ma tutaj nikogo oprócz nas. No, wchodzimy do środka. Dobra. Jak widzicie, budynek jednak jest trochę w średnim stanie. Tylko już w środku.
Once inside the house, they immediately begin to hear strange noises.
Jeżeli jesteś tutaj...
Sorry, my playback was doing that loading thing again. I just had to make sure that my stream wasn't getting cut off.
z nami, daj nam znać. Będziemy wiedzieć, że jesteś i odejdziemy. Każdy odejdzie w swoją stronę. Już tu więcej nie wrócimy. Czasem tak bywa w takich miejscach.
Now, the guys laugh it off at first, but things get a bit more serious when they get a direct response to a question.
Masz kolejną szansę, możesz się z nami skomunikować. Daj jakiś znak, że tutaj jesteś. Kto tu jest? Skąd to było?
Nie mam pojęcia. Ale coś kurwa słyszę.
They keep hearing odd sounds around the house, but they can't find the source. But their YouTube viewers were shocked when they noticed find the source. They keep hearing odd sounds around.
Okay. I don't know for sure, but this kind of looks like a shadow figure right here peeking at them through the door. Now, I know that, some people would argue that it's just the door frame, but it doesn't cut off right here. Normally door frames are straight. Like look at this one. On this side it's straight, but on this side it's not. It looks like that there's a shadow person kind of peeking in on them.
Around the house, but they can't find the source. But their YouTube viewers were shocked when they noticed this.
I see it. Right there. Right there. It's peeking in through the window.
Kto tu jest? Kto tu jest?
Did you see it? The Polish ghost hunters didn't notice at the time or even point it out in their video, but someone seems to be walking around the corner just as they check the staircase.
Kto tu jest?
Now, I also noticed there was another figure outside the window, but when he did that little rewind thing and all that, I noticed that it was really still and wasn't like peeking its head in or anything like that. So it could have been just a piece of the building, part of the structure of the window.
Halo. Nie, bez ja. Cisza. Idź do piwnicy.
Now, it certainly could just be a homeless man in the building that came to check out the noise. But again, I remind you, before the investigation, the Polish Paranormal TV crew inspected the entire building to make sure they were alone. So, what do you think? Is it a paranormal entity?
I gotta agree with Nukes on this one. I think it's just a homeless guy because yeah, they investigated the building, but that doesn't mean that person couldn't have come from outside to investigate what the noise was, right?
Or just a wandering homeless man? Let me know down in the comments. A quiet voice.
But at the same time, kind of on the fence with it because there were some things I noticed that were kind of leaning towards the paranormal that not even Nuke's top 5 pointed out, like that shadow figure I saw in the door frame. But anyway, let's continue. We're at the last one for this video.
Popular YouTuber and paranormal explorer Ricky Velasquez frequently does live streams while exploring allegedly haunted locations in Mexico. In this live stream, Ricky and a female friend are exploring a haunted house in Ciudad Guzman, Mexico. They begin to hear what sounds like the voice of a little girl. They call out to the child, and that's when things get truly bizarre.
Yeah. Chiquita.
¿Cómo te llamas? Ya vi.
Niña.
Wait, what?
Espérate, aquí. ¿Escuchaste? ¿Escuchaste?
No, que me... Háblale.
Hola.
Well, if you're gonna talk to the spirit, you can't expect it to not respond.
¿Te podemos ver?
Niña.
¿Quieres que te veamos? Manifiéstate.
Niña.
Ya no voy a correr.
Ya como que se queja, pobrecita. Niña. Chiquita.
Déjanos verte, no te vamos a lastimar.
Chiquita, asómate.
Yo no la veo.
¿Y si me asomo nada más yo? Ay, no.
¿Ya la viste?
Sí, ya se la veo.
¿Ya la viste? ¿La vieron?
So, did Ricky Velasquez capture the ghost of a little girl on his live stream? What do you think?
It's compelling, but at the same time, there's no saying whether or not that girl wasn't just a normal little girl who was in on it.
You can see the full investigation over on Ricky
Alright, so that's that one. Next we got King Frostmare's Scary Videos I Have Never Seen, number 6. Now keep in mind, just because he's never seen them doesn't mean that we've never seen them.
Hello guys, tonight we want to take a look at some more scary videos that you have sent in to me and that I have never seen before. Now I share my initial reaction with you and I hope you enjoy this episode. And now without further ado, let's buckle up and stay frosty. Alright guys, so our first video tonight was sent by Bobby and he tells me that he found it today actually. It went live today and it was posted by Paranormal Nightmares TV series and they even have a series on Amazon Prime apparently. they were venturing to the West Virginia Penitentiary. Guess we dive straight into it and check out what they could come up with today.
We saw this video earlier tonight, so we're going to just skip to the next one. All right, looks like he shows more of the other investigation after the loud bang. So
pretty noticeable.
I'm gonna continue watching it from there and see if he does show anything different.
Caught everybody's attention.
That's a little creepy right here, that view.
Like
Are you in here with us? I want you to do something right now.
Okay, now they're having their electronic equipment
If you can
out.
hear me, I think I found a way out. But you gotta give us a sign, please.
They're so trapped there, can't find their way out, and they're basically trying to help.
Why am I
them.
holding
Maybe
these?
to find the light, maybe to find the exit.
I can't. I feel like shit.
I did hear that.
We're back in here. Let's go. Like in the doorway.
Let's see. Can get anything else.
It's gonna be chow time. So if you're ready to eat, start banging on the cells.
Josh, Rock here.
Isn't that fascinating? Like, kind of a really intelligent response to that. And I
Yes,
heard
it
that's
is.
clear as day. What's that?
Oh, shadow. Shadow.
Wow! You guys see that? That is...
Yeah, Nuke's top 5 didn't have these clips during his video.
This is a video that was shared by VVCXXCR, and he goes on by saying, my auntie sent a video of my little cousin, but I noticed something that wasn't right. My auntie was in front of my little cousin, and there was no space in between for someone to pass through. And apparently, his little cousin saw something. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, it's happening in the beginning of the video, apparently.
Whoa, okay, that's creepy.
Have you seen it? Look, it's as if a shadow is passing by and squishing itself through the little girl. She even takes a back step to make place for whatever wanted to go by here, and nobody else seems to have seen it. This is really something. Is it just a shadow from the outside? Something paranormal?
And it couldn't have come from outside because it passed right over her. So. And also, if it was a shadow from the outside, like say someone walked behind the person with the camera, then shouldn't we be able to logically see the camera man's shadow as well? I think that's real, because you can't get a child that young to fake such a reaction like that. That girl was genuinely scared.
Let me hear what you guys think.
I mean, look at those eyes.
This could be anything. I mean, let me hear what you guys said from the... Something paranormal? Let me hear what you
Yeah, look at these eyes right here.
guys think.
Yeah, those are scared eyes. Those are I am about to shit my pants with fear.
This could be anything. I mean, it is without a question that there certainly is something, but whatever it is, remains a mystery, I guess. Hey guys, if you wish to support me, you'll have Diamond, and this video was sent by Thomas, and he tells me that he stumbled across it on Reddit and has no idea where it really stems from. It is called Creature in the Woods, and apparently it had been filmed by a couple of friends that were just hanging out on a nice bonfire when they heard something in the distance, and they wanted me to check it out. I guess we just should do that.
Hey, t'avais-tu entendu ça?
Quoi?
Check.
Frank, find that flashlight!
I was just about to say I don't know what language that is, but I think it's maybe Irish.
Vite, find that flashlight!
Scottish.
Fuck, c'était quoi?
Don't see anything.
C'est où?
If the flashlight can help. What's that noise?
Shows them!
Oh shit.
Oh, I've seen this video. I've seen this clip before.
Shows them!
Something white. A white creature, look at that.
Shows them!
Now it is gone.
Hey, c'est quoi, devant? C'est quoi?
Yeah, we're skipping that one because I've seen it before and I've reacted to it, already given my thoughts. And to be honest, I'm still kind of on the fence about it.
Sophia has sent this video, and it was apparently caught in an old castle, and they were filming this door.
I love how he paused right there. Just Sophia sent us in, and it looks like she's caught in some kind of castle.
When they noticed something in this little window of some sorts.
Whoa!
So there seems to be, I think it is part of a prison door in this castle, and maybe I think this little opening has been used to give bread and water to whoever was imprisoned at the time, and this thing just popped out of that hole.
Now, I will say this much. It could very well be just a mouse. I mean, if you think about it, it's small enough to be a mouse, and the head and the head shape right here is kind of like a mouse head. And here's the ear and all that. So it could just be a mouse that's standing up, and and this black piece here is blocking the foreground of the rest of the mouse. Because like Frostmere said, this is an opening to receive food, so maybe it can be controlled to where only the top part was open.
Let's look at that a little bit closer. It almost looks like it could be a face, like the lower part. And it just disappears back into the darkness. Now, viewers suspect that, it either was an employee that was doing something in there, but it is pretty unlikely, I say, since it's that dark in there. There's no light source whatsoever. Is it part of a head? Or something more explainable, perhaps?
I still stand by the mouse theory.
Now this is an interesting capture from Guddy G, and he said he visited the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia today. And this is a picture he took in the lobotomy recovery room. Looks like a man peeking his head around the corner, but this was the first tour in months and no one was around. Still gives me the chills to look at it. Look at that picture, guys. On first glance, nothing too crazy.
I see
but
it.
The devil lies in the detail with that one. Now, let's look at the back a little bit here. See how this color does not match anything in the background. Some of the viewers say that they do see part of a head, but the eye section is completely deformed. Pinkish looking face-like thing with brown hair. While the band was on a video shoot there, they caught this image of a man in the background. Look at that. And there are several people saying that they do see the resemblance. Now, what do you say? Is this just a coincidence? Is it something else maybe? Looks similar to me, at least in terms of the hairstyle maybe. Some other people even say, look at the eyes. Maybe lobotomies have something to do with that look of whatever that thing is. Let me hear your explanation, guys.
It's a good video, that much is clear. Alright guys, before we start this next one, I need a quick break. Let's go get some more water. Be right back. Pro streamer. Alright, we're back, guys. Alright, so our next video is top 15 scary videos I can barely handle. So, display on. Let's begin.
Number 15, Creepy Creature. You're dragging Maine, just having a good time with your friends, when you spot this out the window. Posted by Calligram to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the strange creature caught the eye of this group as they were driving around at night, and then chaos ensued. As they're traveling at nearly 110 miles per hour, they race down the freeway when the man in the passenger seat captures the roadside figure as they zoom past. It looks like a female ghost.
It also looks like a giraffe.
Some in the comments suggest it's a cardboard cutout. Redditor IG Parish notes, this video is literally older than YouTube, old or new. What do you think this could be? One thing's for sure, it's not a night.
See, I'm gonna rewind it right here. See, look, there's the ears, the head, the snout, and here's the nose, the long neck. That's a giraffe.
For sure, it's not a nightmare mirage you'd want to witness. Number 14, Chasing a Shadow. Some people get their kicks from chasing spirits. These two have their work cut out for them. Published to YouTube in November of 2019, the channel...
Oh, I remember this one. Okay, now... I know that I've said that if it's a video I've already seen, I'm gonna skip it. But this one, I enjoy this one too much to skip it. This one's a really good one. Why is it so good? Because it's live streamed. They didn't have an opportunity to fake this post-edit because this was all live streamed. And it's from two different perspectives. And some things are seen on one person's perspective that's not seen on the other one's. So at certain times, only one of them gets targeted. So this is a good one. I really like this one. So we're going to watch it.
Writes in Arabic, the video is for an adventurer named Hassan, who entered the house of a man named Krish who did very terrible things. The video shows two men wandering around an empty abandoned building. They keep hearing strange cries, and soon they'll see strange sights. Throughout the clip, the pair sees a shadow turning various corners. Whenever they chase after it, nothing is there. When one of the men turns his camera around to face him, a ghostly figure dressed in black appears over his shoulder. He cries out in fear, swinging around and trying to capture it, but it disappears. Later, they spot the figure sitting just outside an open window before it again vanishes. Are you brave enough to chase the shadowy djinn? And honestly, would you really want to catch her? Number 13.
The answer to both of those is no.
Ghost Girl. This footage will disturb you, and it appears to be a news segment. A female reporter holding a mic is seen approaching what appears to be a girl wearing white with long dark hair, crouched down in the dirt. The woman assumedly is asking the girl what is wrong, while the girl remains upsettingly still, her curtain of hair blocking her visage from view. Then suddenly, the girl turns her face to the camera. Startled, the reporter and news crew back away and start to retreat. When the camera swings round again to capture the girl in its purview, she has vanished. What could this possibly be? Or was this a possessed woman? And more importantly, what was she doing there all alone? It's not an image you'll be able to shake from your mind anytime soon.
Okay, now, I have seen that clip before. I've never actually reacted to it, but I have seen that clip before. So here's my initial reaction to it. well, not my initial reaction, but my official reaction to it. It's definitely creepy. And, it's given that it's a news segment, regardless of whether or not it happened live, it gives it some kind of validity. But still, I don't know, it's hard to tell.
Number 12, below the city of fog. Ever wondered what lies beneath the world's largest and most historic cities? YouTuber IKS Exploration takes viewers on a trip, navigating the snaking tunnels under central London. Published in April of 2020, this fresh exploration of the deep shelters constructed during the 1940s. As IKS Exploration explains, 7 shelters were built along the Northern Line. Many London residents wanted to shelter in London Underground stations during the Blitz, resulting in these deep-level shelters, which weren't completed until 1942. The IKS Exploration team takes a look inside these shelters. The descent into the London Underground is dizzying, going on for ages. The crew finally arrives at the large shelters deep within the belly of London. Below they find men and women's toilets, and as they explore they can hear the train running parallel, with its quite frightening thunder. Plenty of long empty hallways lead to darkness, while the team explores endless crawl spaces and watery tubes. At some point they're wading up to their knees in water. Now this is a place that is seriously scary. Number 11.
But, it's like, it wasn't paranormal or anything like that.
Ladder below. If you find a ladder leading to places unknown, would you descend it? According to this YouTuber, it's a sheer 100-foot drop into nothing. That nothing is inside a dark mining cave. Water is heard dripping ceaselessly, while the dark tunnels cut deep into the guts of the mountain. During their exploration at various points, the crew reaches large, wide-open caverns with rocks piled up the walls. At other times, the cliff edges drop steadily into pits of darkness. The crew walks along mineshaft tracks into the tunnel and climbs up large, crumbling rocks to what they believe is the peak of the mountain. There, a crevice opens to the sky, letting sunlight in. At last, they arrive at the ladder, descending below. YouTuber B310 Tyrone writes, "It was bad enough watching it from the safety of my couch, let alone actually peering over into the various abysses. Now imagine climbing down this rusty old ladder. The ladder disappears into the darkest pit you can imagine. Think a complete absence of light. In adjusting the camera light you can see the bottom, which indeed is about 100 feet down. What's down there, you wonder? We'll never find out. Though the crew debates whether or not to climb to the bottom, there are more nays than yays. Would you have the stomach to descend? There's a chance you might discover firsthand whatever picked that bone clean." Number 10. Poltergeist Chaos.
No.
This entry comes...
No. I have claustrophobia, and just watching that was making me uncomfortable. So yeah, I wouldn't go down that ladder.
From Captain Troy 2016 posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. Captain Troy is wondering what in the world is going on in this TikTok video, originally posted to the platform by James Fitzpatrick in November of 2019. The clip shows the electricity in a security room and break room going absolutely bonkers. The overhead lights are flickering on and off, as are the lights from what appear to be walkie-talkies on their chargers. You can hear the printer restarting repeatedly. In a nutshell, it looks like absolute chaos. As the man enters the break room, noting that his colleague is out on patrol, and that this is some crazy poltergeist action going on. Upon hearing a mention of himself, the poltergeist is triggered, slamming a door shut from across the room. This causes our friends to flee, as any sane person would. What's going on here? Redditor I Am the Mind Trip explains his theory that this might be a close encounter of the third kind. Others believe this is 100% a haunting. Redditor Acigator likens the scene to the lab from Stranger Things. Do you have a straightforward explanation for what happened to the electricity in this video?
Well, you know, the lights could be explained by faulty wiring. That doesn't explain the door closing by itself, though.
Neither do we. Number 9, Strange Man, published to YouTube by John Birmingham in June of 2008. The YouTuber writes, 23-month-old Rowan was outside in his baby pool at dusk when he looked inside the house to see a strange man. Rowan tells us what he saw, and during filming he actually sees the man again. Will baby Rowan figure out how to deal with his sixth sense without Bruce Willis there to guide him? In the video, the YouTuber explains that it was 8 p.m. when the young boy spotted a man in the window of the family's home and wouldn't stop staring. When they went inside, the boy was still watching the dining room where he'd seen the man and wouldn't stop staring at that one spot. He said there was a man there wearing black pants, a red shirt, and with big hair. In the video, little Rowan keeps saying, "Man was," while hitting the refrigerator repeatedly. As they question him more about the man, it seems that Rowan sees him. He points into the dining room saying, "What's the man doing in there?" They later discovered a piece of furniture in the dining room called a unity carving, carved from a single piece of wood and handcrafted in Ghana. They believe a spirit may be attached to this piece. If so, what does it want with baby Rowan?
You know, they say that spirits tend to make themselves known to children because you know, children's minds haven't been corrupted. You know, they're able to see what people with the impure of eyes and mind can't see. You know, I never said this before because I've never really seen a clip that was relevant to that until now, but back when she was 1 year, when she was 1, so about a year ago, after my dad died back in 2016, we had him cremated. And his ashes, still to this day, sit on top of our entertainment center. Now, unfortunately, my baby never got to meet my dad, as she was born a year and a half after he died. But about a year ago, you know, she only knew what he looked like through pictures. But about a year ago, I looked to her and I was like, "Where is Grandpa Wallace?" And without even giving it a second thought, she turned to where the ashes were and pointed. Yeah, that's when I knew that she was able to see him in a way that we couldn't. And it kind of warmed my heart knowing that even in death, he was looking out for her.
Number 8, Reactor. We all know what happened to the Chernobyl reactor in 1986, and yet many adventurers vie to enter the still highly radioactive area of Ukraine. Here is just one of these explorations, published to YouTube by Abandoned Explorer in August of 2019. The explorers entered Reactor 5 in order to obtain views of the Reactor 4 from the roof. The crew walks past an enormous cooling tower, which was built to cool reactors 5 and 6. After the disaster, these reactors were never put into operation, so the water tower was never used. As they enter the water tower, a thunderous sound reverberates. There's a sense of foreboding. As it turns out, that was their tour guide Igor throwing a rock which sounded like a jet inside the water tower's cone. Igor says that when you scream in the tower, the sound stays there. Then they head to reactor number 5. The cranes still stand around the building, and several outbuildings lie around it. Several of these cranes actually collapsed from disuse. At the top of reactor number 5, they can see the water tower they were in earlier. After climbing up a shaky ladder, the crew is on the tippy top of the reactor, with trees growing all around. From there, they have a perfect view of reactor number 4. The incredible skeleton of this site spreads out like an eerie nuclear graveyard. This is what happens when such power is let loose. Nothing left but collapsing buildings and radiation.
Alright, so who else here thinks that season 4 of Stranger Things is going to involve Chernobyl? Because I do.
7. The Cavern of Lost Souls, published to YouTube in September of 2019. The crew explores this unbelievable junkyard cave located in Wales, the Cavern of Lost.
But yeah, can you picture a radioactive Demigorgon? That'd be interesting.
Souls is an abandoned mine that serves as a sort of time capsule of past eras. The flooded mine is a relic of the area's extinct mining industry. The entrance lies a few feet in water, as pathways that snake underground break apart under each step of the tunnel's crumbling rock face. After entering the flooded passage, the cavern drops 100 feet, creating a strenuous descent. Next, the team must crawl along a narrow passage to the primary cave. When the mining industry went by the wayside, the cavern thereafter served as a dump for old vehicles, along with other large household devices, such as TVs and refrigerators, mounted across a large underground lake. This dump pile is captured in the light beam from a small opening above, which creates an even more unsettling ambiance in the darkness of the underground. The crew climbs down from the nearly sheer rock face. Previously, they discovered a rusty old sword in the dump pile. This time around, their third time exploring the car cave, they sent a drone underwater. Through the murky water, the camera captures a big oil drum, stacks of tires, loads of discarded metal, and the bodies of vehicles. It looks like an underwater lost and found. Various YouTubers point out a creepy mask in the water at 25 minutes 12 seconds and what looks like someone wearing a robe on a pile of debris. Apart from those unusual sightings, do you spot anything nightmarish in this underground cavern? Would you be brave enough to venture, or would you fear what you might find? Number 6, The Broadcast. Posted by News Alvation Zero to the True Creepy subreddit. According to the Redditor, this eerie end of times video was produced sometime in the 70s and was intended to be broadcast by the last surviving employee at the CNN network, leaked by a former intern in 2015 after a 2009 internship. The creation of the broadcast is believed to have been at the behest of Ted Turner, who founded the news network. Redditor Alex Ashpool gives a shout out to Local 58, which features bone-chilling videos of this nature. Although they're fiction, the fact that true broadcasts were prepped for sinister events provides some credence to the channel. While standing alone, the video isn't that creepy. It could be any orchestral performance after all. Lightning Beauties note that this is the song being played when the Titanic is sinking in Titanic, makes it all the more chilling.
I call it fake news.
Number 5. Abandoned funeral home. YouTuber Steve Ronin's philosophy must be to go big or go home. After all, if you're going to urban explore something, an abandoned funeral home is top tier when it comes to fear. Ronin and his crew explored this abandoned funeral home in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, and published their findings on the channel in May of 2020. The home was built in the early 20th century and was turned into a family-run funeral home in the 1970s. Ronin writes, "Now boarded up and forgotten, the old funeral home sits neglected. Let's take a look inside." Before they even enter the home, they find a rustled old casket beneath a fallen tree outside. The first room Ronin comes to appears to be the embalming room, with a row of bottles with various liquids inside lined up on a shelf. You can just imagine this creepy medical room in action during its heyday. Inside the main house, the place has obviously been ransacked. A piano sits against one wall, various keys missing, tons of clothes throughout the rooms, papers scattered down the hallway, and yet more caskets in one room. Ronin finds lots of furniture and possessions left in the upstairs bedrooms, which have been turned topsy-turvy, assumedly by scavengers. Even an ancient computer is tossed aside there. Ronin enters the garage, the casket jackpot. Some are stacked on shelves, others out for display. In a second garage, they find the old hearse with creepy curtains hanging in the windows and a large back end to carry the caskets. I definitely get bad vibes from this spine-tingling sight. Would you be able to stomach it? Number 4.
No.
Phantom workout. This spirit hasn't given up his New Year's resolutions quite yet. Posted to the creepy video subreddit by Cricey. This YouTube video caught a ghost in action on the exercise machines at the park. Even stranger, this ghost is working out in the darkness of the night. No living human is standing near the machine, and yet the machine is enthusiastically pumping iron, as though someone invisible is getting his lift on. Just goes to show even phantoms can work out apparently. Number...
What the hell? That is... but so creepy.
3. What happens when the former homeowner that now haunts your place doesn't like the way you redecorated? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by RAFF_C, the Redditor says this is a new place, and it seems that whatever spirit resides here is malevolent, not friendly. The footage shows what looks like an office, a sitting area with a couple office chairs, some desks, a coffee table. No one is there, at least no one visible. Suddenly the glass coffee table breaks, shattering in upon itself. If not a paranormal event, how and why did this happen? A Redditor suggests that a ghost simply didn't like the ugly table. Others in the comments take a practical route, suggesting the open drawer beneath the table may have stressed the center of gravity of the glass, causing it to shatter. Some suggest a pre-existing deformity could have caused it, a drastic change in temperature, or perhaps moving the table had weakened it. Nurse Juno agrees, writing, tempered glass like that is known to sometimes shatter randomly. Malin, however, points out that it's not tempered glass, but rather a big glass plate.
And let's also not forget that even if it was because of the drawer that's stationed on the second shelf, then wouldn't the wood legs be more likely to break first other than the glass, but before the glass would break?
What do you think? Was this event natural, or are there just as many mischievous ghosts in the world? Number 2, giraffe moving. It's a rare occasion.
It's creepy though.
When you see paranormal evidence this undisputable. Posted to YouTube by Chris Honkowski in September of 2010. This movement in a haunted house is cited as purportedly some of the best evidence of paranormal activity. Chris writes that this video was captured at his father's house in Southern California. During his childhood, Chris's father had encountered paranormal activity, which adults had brushed off as his imagination. Chris writes, doors would open, lights would turn on, things would move. He even saw an apparition of a lady walk into his room. His father moved away, but after a couple decades returned, and the unexplainable events continued, which is when Chris and his brother stepped in. Using night vision cameras, they captured a 30-pound ceramic giraffe statue move on its own. Over several minutes around 3 a.m., the witching hour. In the clip, the giraffe is seen tucked behind the armoire. It starts to edge its way out slowly but surely. It wobbles a little as if it's being pushed by some invisible force. YouTuber Diley500able writes, if you look closely, you can see it turn its head. The footage appeared on A&E's My Ghost Story, to which Nineveh Romero adds, this scared me as a child so much that I had to throw out my plushy giraffe. I have a feeling a lot of stuffed animals are going in the dumpster after this one. I've got a challenge for you. If you're white, midnight snack.
Okay. That was really creepy.
Even ghosts get hungry for a midnight snack, published to YouTube by Petrifying Occurrences in April of 2019. This CCTV footage caught an invisible entity raiding a convenience store. First, 2 separate packages are seen falling from a shelf. Okay, maybe they were just positioned precariously, but what happens next cannot be explained away. A refrigerator door springs open, and something falls out. Just when you think the ghost is satisfied with his mischief, another package falls from the shelf. Then the spirit seems to show itself. A faint shadow figure is barely visible, crossing the length of the store right into the front of the camera. Some in the comments think this is surefire ghost footage. Another suggests that's just the Flash doing some shopping. Ghost or no, I wouldn't want to be on night shift at this gas station. Thanks for checking out this video.
Alright guys, one last video. From Chills. 12 scary videos caught on live TV.
Live TV can be scary when something goes wrong. The ratings go up, but so does the fear. Number 12. A news reporter hears a train approach and gets an idea for a shot.
Here, oh, let's go. Train.
The idea is to have her walk into the shot and let the train pass by for dramatic effect. The only problem is she can't look over her shoulder because it'll ruin the shot. She has to guess how close the train is, and her estimations are a little off.
20 minutes after midnight. Oh!
She manages to take 2 steps and is barely off the tracks when the train flies by. This could have ended a lot differently, and there.
Damn. Girl, if you did not walk those 2 steps, you'd be dead.
Would have been absolutely nothing for the cameraman to do to stop it. Number 11. This news reporter thinks he has an easy day reporting live from a bug exhibit at the Museum of National History. He and his crew decide to make the story more interesting to look at by putting a large exotic moth on his vest before they begin the broadcast, kind of as a joke. It's called an African moon moth, and as they learn more about them, the bug crawls up his neck and cozies up next to his ear.
That thing is actually beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I would not mind having that on my ear. It's actually pretty beautiful.
The news reporter can't freak out and plays it cool. I noticed the moth is doing a weird fanning motion with its wings that it wasn't doing before. That's when he feels a sensation in his ear that he mistakes for teeth.
Oh, it bit me. No, it didn't.
But the reality is so much worse. As he was leaving, a museum worker noticed 2 tiny white sacs embedded in his ear, no doubt deposited there from the African moon moth. They already look big in my opinion. I wonder if they grow into the skin and leach nutrients. I'm glad the reporter found the eggs before they hatched and possibly crawled deeper inside. Number 10.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want that near my ear now.
The Pope is making one of his famous balcony appearances. He looks completely normal while waving to an adoring crowd below. I see him at the window in a dark room behind him, completely three-dimensional, right? Well, explain this.
Dude, is it not? He's gone. Oh my.
When played frame by frame, it kind of seems like a hologram. He doesn't go deeper into the room, he just turns off. This was broadcast on live news, and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference unless someone pointed it out to me. I don't know if they're doing this for security purposes or what, but it's creepy. I can only wonder how many other times we have been looking at not a famous person, but rather their perfect duplicate image. Number 9.
That is creepy.
A woman is reporting on the edge.
I mean, if you really think about it, it makes you really start to wonder, is the Pope even real? Is anyone that we see making public appearances real? This just added a new layer of fear that I didn't know existed in my life. I don't like it.
Edge of the forest, when a mysterious animal crosses her path and actually turns her way at 23 seconds. She thinks that it's a dog at first, but grows less certain as she gets a better look at its face, which we never see. But what do you think it is?
I think it's a dog. I'm not sure. But anyway.
From this angle, it kind of looks like the tail and ears of a juvenile mountain lion, until you look at the paws, which are too small for a wild cat, so it probably was a coyote. Because if this was...
That's what I'm thinking, either a coyote or a dingo.
It's a domesticated animal, then it should have been more friendly, especially if it was lost. This one just walks right by her without even wagging its tail. A wild animal probably wouldn't approach a person at all, unless it was really out of it, so I guess rabies isn't out of the question. Number 8. Debbie Merrick goes on live television to do an interview about a doll that is so possessed, she doesn't even want to look at it. She has only had it for a month and already mysterious things have been happening. Small scratches on her family and friends after they visit her home. As Debbie describes the story behind how she acquired the doll, something bizarre happens.
Hands up, I bought them tweets out.
Chair's beginning to rock. Look at that.
Who's doing that? Stop it. Who's doing that?
Everyone noticed the chair is moving on its own, almost as if the doll is rocking back and forth. Pleased at the attention she is receiving. It could be a publicity stunt, but I don't see how. The doll is pretty much in the middle of the floor with no room for anyone to move the chair without immediately being noticed. The doll itself looks really creepy, and I don't like how one pupil appears larger than the other. I've never seen that before, and hopefully I never see it again. Number 7.
That's hard to fake, especially live. I think that might be real.
A weatherman in Mississippi ironically becomes affected by his own forecast when high winds shut off the power to his studio. Now they are on a backup generator and he has to manually turn on his weather monitoring equipment to regain control of the situation. His weather monitor reconnects just in time to show him a massive tornado that's heading their way.
Tower cam. There's a damaging tornado on the ground right now.
He tries to keep his composure, but as a meteorologist, he knows the severity of this storm and that they might not pull through.
A significant tornado touchdown. Face now. Basement now. Let's go. Now.
When the weatherman is this worried, you know you're in trouble. Everyone got to safety in time, but sadly, 30 people lost their lives from this tornado, so his panic was not an overreaction. Number 6. On February 3rd, 2020, this large round object
Nature, man, that's the ultimate killer.
appears on live television. Hovering over Chilca, Peru, a crowd has gathered to watch and soon they figure out how to interact. Every time they shine these green lights at it, the object seems to respond. It starts off low over the water, so I wasn't sure if it was someone with a spotlight or not.
A ver, traigan la cámara de Radio Capital. Ahí está, miren.
But soon it's high up in the air, way too high to be a boat. When the sky lights up at 16 minutes and 39 seconds, it looks like a big blast. That's not a flashlight. And get this, it makes no sound the whole time.
Lo alumbra, te das cuenta.
Está posado en el cerro. Miren, ahí está, oye.
¿Viste? Está grabado, está grabado.
I really hope that this is just a high-powered light and not an extraterrestrial encounter that leaves them with long-term effects. If this is fake, tell me how you think it was pulled off.
Ugh, that hurt my eyes.
5.
It kind of reminds me of the Paulding light. And, you know, I've been in discussion about that with people in the past about how, you know, they think it's not real, but I personally think it's real. In this instance, it could be the same thing. It could be something similar to it.
Emergency workers gather outside of a room where something terrible has happened and lives were possibly lost. As the camera zooms in, it catches a scary-looking figure peering back at them. Its neck twisted so many times that it has become long and thin. The closer they zoom in, the more facial detail I see. Its face is half shrouded in darkness, but I can see the eyes, and it has tall black hair, or maybe it's simply a crack in the wall. 4. This light.
Or it could be a kid trapped in the walls. Ever thought of that? Okay, I've seen this clip. I don't think I've reacted to it, but it is incredibly weird. Pay close attention to the red notebook.
Live broadcast shows a British official holding a red binder as he leaves a building. An associate walks in front of him to block the media, and when he walks behind this car, he emerges with a binder that is now green. Both binders have a distinctive gold seal on the front and appear to be the same one. The only explanation I have is that he handed his assistant the red binder in exchange for a green one. But that would take longer than a couple seconds behind the car to do so. I also don't see how this could be a camera glitch. There is still no official explanation for this from the news station or British officials. So how do you think this unsolved mystery happened? 3. A YouTuber named You Want Sun catches an eerie moment on live TV when this news anchor has a problem.
I still haven't been able to figure out how that switch happened.
Unlike any I've seen. She sounds normal the entire time, but she starts blinking excessively, followed by this.
Is reporting a record turnout at this point. Nevada and Nebraska are also showing that Democrats are getting a jump on early voting. In Washington, I'm Susan Roberts. We're on American.
Pause.
I've seen videos where both eyes change into a creepy off color before.
Whoa.
I've never seen a video where one eye stays the same and one eye does whatever this is. Also, they cut away from her as soon as it happens, which makes You Want Sun wonder what exactly happened here.
That is bizarre.
I think
and they're trying to cover it up? Fake news.
It's possible, but I'm not sure, so I'd like to get your thoughts. Was this a glitch or something way worse? 2. There's one thing I bet this weather woman forgot to mention in today's live forecast, something you'll never be able to guess.
Oh my gosh, that was creepy.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that was hilarious.
Oh, of course he had to be right on my head. Oh, I just don't like that.
Spiders. One has begun its web across the camera used for green screen footage. and now it looks like a giant because of an accidental close-up shot. The timing and placement are perfect as it scares her for a second time, and then sneakily crawls away during the fade-out. Believe it or not, this isn't the only time something like this has happened. Watch this part and tell me if he gets more scared than she did.
But it's the prolonged dry spell, and now we're going to continue with the dry spell and get the real heat. Whoa! Whoa!
This time a spider runs down, touches a news anchor 3 times in rapid succession, his screams becoming more surprised each time, and then it runs away. In reality, it's just weaving a web. But it's a crazy coincidence how it seems to crawl towards his head and then down his shirt. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this, because I realized button too far from the beach. Number 1. A news reporter is broadcasting live from the beach when she's approached by the Grim Reaper itself. Okay, it's more like a guy dressed wearing a cheesy Grim Reaper costume, plastic scythe and all, but at least he has a scary message to share. The reason why he's walking around dressed as the Grim Reaper is to remind all of the beachgoers that they should probably be staying inside right now, which I do understand what he's talking about. I just wanted to know if you think how he delivered this message is funny or in bad taste. I do see his point and agree that staying home is a good idea. On the other hand, it's kind of ironic that he goes out in public just to tell people to stay home, so he might still be susceptible to the very scenario that he's trying to prevent. These videos...
That was good. Those last 2 were good ones. Yeah. I get it, because, is that just, like misunderstandings or just someone trying to get a warning, but, yeah, I agree with Chills. There are much better ways that you can go about, telling people, hey, you shouldn't be out, COVID-19, coronavirus, all that, which, I think is not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be, but I still say it should be taken seriously because people are dying from it, but not like as overblown as it's gotten. That's just my opinion, though. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Saturday for my next stream. Good night.